Hey crafters, do you know what time it is? It's time for another Besties Hop, and this is for Valentine's Day. And we have named it the Hugs, Kisses, and Valentine Wishes Hop. The Hugs, Kisses, and Valentine's Wishes, and I wrote it down because I kept saying it wrong, so there it is. And I have just a couple of things that I need to let you know before I show you my awesome project. This is how a hop works. You hop, stop, watch, subscribe, and comment. There's going to be 10 of us, okay? So that's why I wrote the 10 here. The 10 includes me, so it's me and 9 of the people that are on the design team. You hop to each one of our video channels. They're all listed in the description box. It's really easy. Stop at each one, watch the content of the video, become inspired. There's going to be great stuff to look at, and then subscribe to each person. After you're done with that, leave a comment. Say something nice about their project or how you were inspired or what you might do next or just something really cool. Let them know that you're thinking of them, that you thought that their video was good, and everyone always appreciates that. So make a comment. And then at the very end, when you get down to Sherry Wolf, who is number 10, you want to make sure to go to my email, which is signace@yahoo.com. This will also be in the description, so don't worry about writing it down right now. And entitle your email Valentine so that I don't lose any of them, and you make sure that you get in the drawing for the 2 separate prizes at the end. One of the prizes is coming from Sherry Baldy. It's a 3D project, a image of your choice, and a sheet of Bottlecap images. So cool and really fun to work with. So that's from Sherry. The other one is going to be a box of goodness from me. It's going to be dies, stamps, trims, and more, and you'll probably totally be excited about whatever I put in that. So there may also be some other little giveaways that some of the other ladies in the group are doing, so make sure that you watch for those and follow their own specific rules on their channel. And let's get started. I'm going to show you how to make this today. Isn't it cute? It's this awesome little Valentine's basket. I have all this extra like paper that you can put inside of it, tissue paper, and you can hand stamp your own tissue paper and whatever, but I left it out just so that you could see all the detail on it. There'll be pictures at the end so that you can see more of it. And I decked out the handle, so the handle's got like butterflies and flowers, stuff like that. There's the back where it came together, and then I added this extra base on the bottom so that it would be nice and sturdy and it would stand up. Now the one that we're going to make with the measurements that I found, and I want to give a great big shout out to Sandy who totally helped me find those. Thank you so much. Her information will be in the description box below as well. And then we're going to make this one. It's slightly smaller. Here's the handle. So the handle will be put in like that. So let's get going. Let's get down to the table. I'm going to show you how to do this today. These are the measurements of the pieces that you're going to need. You need 4 strips that are cut at 1 1/4 by 9 1/2, 1 strip that's cut at 1 1/4 by 11, and then either 1 or 2 strips that are cut at 3/4 of an inch by 8. And the reason why I say 1 or 2 is because if you just want a plain brown handle, you're just going to cut 1. But if you want a handle like the one that I showed you in the beginning that looks like this, you're going to want 2 so that you can sandwich these 2 pieces in between the one underneath and the one on top. So I'm going to let you go ahead. If you want to pause and write down these dimensions, you go ahead and do that. The other thing that I'm going to recommend is a chipboard, kind of a really heavy cardboard, or not a regular cardstock, but something a little heavier than that. And you want to cut out 2 of them for the base, and you're going to glue both of them together to make it really sturdy. And I go ahead and I use my hot glue gun and glue them together, but you can do whatever you want. My circles here are 2 1/2 inches, and so they're going to be glued together, and that's going to make the base on the bottom so that this stands up nice and sturdy. So I'm going to go through this one more time. We have these 4, which are 1 1/4 by 9 1/2. This longer one that's 1 1/4 by 11. And then these 2 other strips that are 3/4 of an inch by 8. And that was all of these that were on the measurements that I showed you in the beginning. And these 2 long strips, so now you're going to take the 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of paper, and you're just going to keep cutting straight down. You should have just one piece left on the end that looks like this, and then 4 little squares that you cut off the edge of these 4, and that's all the waste you'll have left from that 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And then I've gone ahead to save time, and I've inked up the edges of all my pieces. And I used Walnut Stain, which is a distress ink by Tim Holtz. I've already got my 2.5 inch circles that I told you about previously. And to also save time, I've gone ahead and picked another one of my edge dies, or my edge punches, that I really like, and I've done 2 edges because that's going to go sandwiched in between these. So they're going to get glued down, one on either side. And then it's going to get sandwiched in between this, and this is going to go right down the middle, and that's going to be our handle. The easiest way I have found to do the handle is to go ahead and take a little bit of wet glue and run it straight down the side. And then slide this right over the top of that glue and line it up to where you want it to be. And then push down. Same thing on this side. Go ahead and just put a line of glue down the edge of this. And then do the same thing on this side so that you can see where you're putting it and line it up. And then on the other side, all you have to do is run those 2 lines again. And then line up that last piece. And since we already lined up the front, this one should line up, you know, really pretty simply, pretty easily. And then before it completely dries, I go ahead and take my bone folder and I run it down the edge. Not only just to get it to adhere, but to adhere in kind of a, see how that popped off there? You want it to be able to round off the edge. I obviously didn't put enough glue on, but you don't want it to pop off once you start making it go around the corner as the handle. Another thing that you can do too is, instead of using wet glue where it adheres and then dries really unflexible, you can go ahead and use ATG tape, which is a lot more flexible. So I'm going to give that time to dry. And then we'll move on to the other part of the basket. Okay, this longer piece that we have, you'll notice that I already went ahead and did a 1/4 rounder on either side. That's because that's going to be the piece that wraps around the top of the basket, like right here. And this one I did not round. This one I left straight. But on the one that I made in my project, I did round it. I'm going to show you how that looks. I rounded it here, and then I put 2 buttons on the edge. It kind of looks like a belt. Gives it that sort of belty look, which is kind of cool. So you want to make sure that this side that you've already done the edging on, the coloring edging, goes this way, upside down. And the same with these pieces, they're going to go upside down. And we're going to go ahead and put some glue on the edge here. And we're going to glue down the first piece, and we're going to follow the edge of that. Okay, and then a little bit more glue, and put down the second piece and butt that up to that one. And you're just going to put all 4 pieces on this way. And I'm just going to give that just a slight bit of time to glue, for the glue to dry, and then I'll show you how to bring these up and put the rest of it together. Okay, we've got our 4 strips coming straight down here and our belt going that way, and if I flip it over, you'll notice that this is the side that has all of the edging, all of the inked edging. We're working from the back side, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the top, the circle part of this first. Okay, So we're going to wrap this around, and this strip right here, about halfway through this strip is where we want that to go. So we're going to put glue about halfway on there. And that's where we're going to glue this piece down like that. And you want to give this plenty of time to dry if you want it to really hold. Because then we're going to start putting these pieces up. Now as I'm holding it, you can see where that last piece that we glued in on there, there's an edge right there. That's where we're going to take this first piece that's hanging here, and we're going to swing it under, and we're going to put it right next to that on that edge. Do you see where that is? So that's where we're going to put the glue. We're going to put it right there. Glue down that this first one. We're just going to tuck it right up underneath there and put it right next to that one and hold it and let it dry. This is where that red line tape or that really, really sticky tape would come in handy, because it wouldn't, come undone. Then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to take the next one, and I'm going to do the opposite side. So I'm going to look on this side. And it's up to you. You don't have to put it together exactly the way I am. This is just kind of the way it seems to have gone together the best for me. So I'm going to tuck that one underneath there and put it up against that piece that we already have. So they look like they're all coming together in a row. Okay, and then we're going to take the next one. We're going to go to this side. We're going to glue that one up and butt it up next to that other one. There should be just enough there left on that side for us to put the very last one. So we're going to glue that one together. Do you see how we've just got one more open space right there? So that's where we're going to put the rest of the glue. And we're going to swing that last one up underneath there. And glue that one right in the middle. And I'm taking the time to make sure that I hold the pressure on there and that I give that enough time, that glue enough time to set, because then what we want to do is kind of reach in and give it a press all the way around as we go to kind of find the middle and the base where we want that base to be. You can crisscross these two too if you want. It doesn't really matter. But that one, that's kind of where I want my base to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. This is the part that's going to hold this whole thing together so well so that it stands upright. And you're going to definitely want hot glue for this next step. So once you get these two glued together, make sure you have your hot glue ready. If you've got time while you're waiting for your hot glue gun to heat up, you're going to want to put in 4 little brads, any color that you want. I like the way the gold goes with the brown, so I've picked out 4 gold ones. And then I just use my pokey tool, and I'm going to put one on the top and one on the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and push that through to make a hole. And then one on the top. Kind of looks like a belt buckle, that's what it reminds me of. Be careful when you're doing this that your fingers on the other side are really clear of that tool so you don't poke yourself. And then each one should go in. That's a double layer of cardstock there, so it's a little tougher to get it in. If you've got a hole punch that'll go through that, a crocodile would work really well. I've got one, but I just use the pokey tool. It just seems to be handier typically on my desk, so I'm just going to push that in there. And I've got one more to go. And I'm going to use the same technique for putting on the handle. Okay, those two are on, and then I like to make that this part like sort of the front. if you will. And so then these are going to go in on the sides on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and poke a hole through either side of this. And then wherever I want that to go on this side, I'm just going to line it up and then poke the hole through with that. That way I can just put it through this first layer. Okay, and then line it up through the second layer through that hole. We put that piece of paper in and push it through that one. And then open up that brad on the inside. Okay, and then you drop it in on the other side where that one's going to go, where it falls naturally. And then that way you can put that one on this side and poke through that hole so you know where it's going to go. Make sure your fingers are clear again. And then that way you can put this through that first hole so you're not going through everything, and then through that second hole right there in the handle itself. There we go. And then open up that brad so that stays, and then you've got your handle. Okay, and now all we need is, you notice that it's really kind of tippy and it tips to one side. That's what the base is for. So we're going to go ahead and take our hot glue gun. I think mine's just about ready. And I'm going to glue a bunch right into the center to make sure that it stays hot. And then push it down from the inside right straight down onto that glue. And let it adhere. And then I'm going to do some of the edges, wherever I think I need. This one might not even need it. And see, now it tipped a little bit, but it stays. The base just that extra little base on the bottom just totally helps. I don't think I'm going to even need to put any more glue on this one. It really stayed well this time. So that's the end of our basket. You guys, I really hope that you'll join along and not just stop at mine, but go to the next 9 ladies on our hop. Good luck with the winning, and make sure at the end that you send me an email with the title Valentine so that you end up in the drawing for those so that you don't miss out. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next video.